Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Plexi Film Show. This is AJ, where I break down and analyze films, TV shows, and video games. This is the second episode, and just letting you guys know, this is a re recording of episode 2 because I never got to record the first 3 shows again. I re recorded this show, the previous episode, and the next one. And then after the third one, it will be just normal live and actual long episodes. So, yeah, just letting you guys know for that. In this week's episode, I will be talking about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and starting with the summary. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a middle school, is not as enjoyable experience for preteen Greg Heffley, but a horrid ordeal of a social landmines that must be bare. To do so, he devises schemes to win him the recognition and status he feels he deserves, all of which he fails miserably. Greg chronicles his misadventures and thoughts and opinions in a diary to prepare for the day that he will no longer have to put up with nonsense. My opinion of the film is definitely it's a good movie, some really iconic scenes, really well done, decent acting, something that I don't see being perfect and with acting, but I would give it, has some outdated references and really cringe. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. My favorite character would have to be Frank, aka Steve Zahn. The dad of Greg Heffley, the best character of all. Just letting you guys know, this is going to be a short episode. I'm just going through all my notes that I've talked about on the show live, but went in more description on the live show. But I'm just going to skim through it really quickly. If you want to see what all I typed out and talking about on show, you can go to my website. You can easily just search up my name at LinkedIn and find my website from there. But anyway, starting with the Easter eggs, I found some, very iconic quote, which is with great power comes great responsibility, which is a quote from Spider-Man that Uncle Ben said. It pops up in this movie when Greg and Rowley are doing the safety patrol stuff, which I find really interesting and really cool that this quote is in this movie. It's just a good throw-in, just Easter egg of other movies and all that. Some foreshadows that I saw, which is Roderick not raised to expectations of a dinner scene talking about Greg get his butt kicked in wrestling by Fragley. I forget what I was referencing there. I think it was just saying that don't raise expectations for his parents and you should be fine in the real world, with the real world, because if you watch the other films in the series, he references that a lot. Don't raise the expectations of the parents. And yeah, he gets his butt kicked in wrestling because, he thinks he's going to do really good, but he actually does not do well. Anywho, there was some other characters I found in this movie that I thought were really weird and just kind of thrown in. I mean, I can't remember if she's brought up in the books. I think maybe a little bit, if so. But one of the characters, I was like, what's really her role? Angie Stedman. Angie Stedman is the tritagonist of the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. She is a 7th grader, later 8th, who works for the school newspaper. At some points in the movie, she becomes a minor enemy to Greg Heffley, which she makes friends with Rowley and teases Greg for rejecting a position at the paper throughout the whole film. But where is she, honestly, in this whole movie? I know that the whole role is, just messing with Greg for not, participating and not wanting to do the newspaper. I find that really funny. But I also find it funny that she's kind of the enemy, not really the enemy, but part of the whole social status. I feel like she brings the social status to life as a physical enemy in the film. I find that really interesting. But I don't really see where her importance otherwise, besides showing physically as a character of social status. Bro, you messed up. Why'd you do that? So yeah. Moving on to some theories that I was able to find for the film. Starting with theory one, is Greg a sociopath? Because if you let me look up what the actual sociopath definition is, um, let me look it up real quick. Um, is a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others, which he does constantly. Greg ignores the feelings of others constantly, like throughout the whole thing. He's very narcissist, like, dude, you're doing the wrong. But, pretty much. He fakes reality of thinking he's going to be big and has his journal as an influence, which is a fake reality that he's living in, and that's a mind of a sociopath, which is living in your own reality, which is fake, and you think something big's going to happen to you. He makes himself a good guy, and everyone else is against him, and everyone else is wrong. He's jealous of everyone that receives more attention than him, and whenever he sees someone else get more attention than him, he tries to bring it on to himself and don't care about anything else besides him. Greg never admits his wrong when it came to the fault of getting Riley kicked out of the safety patrol when, he thought he was getting chased down by the trucker kids on Halloween night, but realizes that it was fake and got caught by one of the neighbors across the street that knows Riley by that jacket because, has a big R on the back of the rain jacket, so it's kind of obvious who, and, that character knows Riley as well. Greg calls Riley, a.k.a. best friend, dead weight. He just sees him as a, impact and a way that he's in the way constantly. He's just there for no reason, get out of my way type of thing. That's how Greg feels. He doesn't view others as real people with wants and needs like him, and nor their wants and needs, which is literally what the definition of a sociopath is. He passes problems onto others and feel no shame, aka literally him passing that disrespect, what he did to Rowley because he was wearing Rowley's jacket. So he played the role off as Rowley instead of himself, which got Rowley kicked out of the, safety patrol. He's very manipulative for a middle schooler. He doesn't help others when seeing them being picked on, like, at all, aka Sharad Gupta and so many other characters in the movie. Jeff Kinney in the interview, I forget what the video is. I could probably throw it in the description, but I could try to find it. But Jeff Kinney reviews that Greg is indeed a sociopath, but it's proven falsely multiple times. But Greg is just a rude person overall as a middle schooler. But it's just a fun theory to think about. Theory 2 is, how is Greg still in middle school? The first book came out in 2007. Book in its own time span. First book is in 6th grade. Could he be dead in the long haul? That's the thing, though, because if you think about it, all these books came out in one time, and he's aging while still in middle school, and it's just kind of weird. Like, how is he getting held back? Another a part of this theory is, could Greg be dead and he's just reliving the memories, or someone's like contemplating his memories? Maybe, I don't know. It's just a theory that I found online, which I found interesting. The death of Greg, old school, reflecting on past life, 5 stages of grief, is shown throughout the film and throughout the long haul books. After the 5 books of long haul, then alternate, it could be an alternate reality, but he needs to learn to accept that Greg needs to learn that to accept death, or just, simple, Greg just has really bad grades. He's not trying at all to pass school, or he's just dumb. I don't know. That's it for the theories. We're going to move on to my favorite scenes in the movie, which are the yearbook scene about Riley roasting Greg for not being funny, which is the scene of Greg and Riley in Roderick's room, and they found the yearbook, and Greg wants to be a class clown, and Raleigh just roasts him like, "Don't you have to be funny for that?" I just thought that was very, very, very funny. Add to it. Roderick catching Greg in his room. Just that whole scene is just funny. Chasing Greg and Raleigh like grabbing onto Roderick's legs, holding him down so he doesn't get Greg. I just find that scene just interesting and funny. Greg feeling bad about getting Riley kicked out of the safety patrol and having to talk with his mom. So yeah, I find that scene really wholesome. That slight talk with his mom is, finally owning up what he did was wrong, but not completely saying it, just saying in another perspective of that. Even though I guarantee his mom knows that he probably did something wrong, and she's just trying to give wholesome advice. It just reminds me of, in my past, how I've had deep conversations with my mom during hard situations I've been through. So I just find that scene very wholesome. Personally, I like all the scenes that we get to see Greg writing in his diary. I think it puts a cool perspective on the movie. I think it actually shows us writing in the journal rather than just a voice over multiple things. I just find it more interesting showing, like, in his life, where does he use that time to write in his diary. I just find that cool. And then Greg defending Riley that he ate the cheese to save Riley's reputation, which is something that I do for all my friends. So yeah, I really do find it really interesting that Greg is owning up to everything that he did wrong, and just just ruined his own reputation just to save Riley's. I find that awesome. I do that just to help my friends overall. Um, the Cheese Touch origins. The Cheese Touch was first mentioned at the start of the first book, where it is revealed that the Cheese Touch originated from a piece of moldy cheese just randomly lying on the basketball court. The first person to have the Cheese Touch was I think Darren Walsh, who touched it with his finger. That's a short background story of the Cheese Touch. Which I find the whole thing interesting. I just feel like, where did the cheese come? Did it just fall out of someone's like lunchbox, or did it just fall out of the sky? Like, where did it come from? I wish there was more implication on where the heck did that cheese come from. Here's some product placements I was able to find in the movie. There was not many, but overall throughout the series, you find many product placements. But one of them is the Nintendo Wii. Is when Greg and Rowley are playing Twisted Wizard, and that game is on the Wii, which I find really cool because the Wii is honestly the best console that, in my opinion, the best console that Nintendo has released. I love the Wii. It's amazing. Alpha Bites, which is a series that you see in the opening scene of him getting pranked by Roderick, of getting ready for school, but he's lied that school's not ready yet. And then, of course, Crest toothpaste, again in the opening scene, trying to get ready for school. And then the Snickers in the scene of Happily Family going to church, and Roderick puts a Snicker bar in the seat of Greg's, which makes it look like he pooped himself. That's in the second movie, though. Like, that's the only product placements I wanted to give. Like, I kind of wanted a hint from another movie in the series, because I might talk about the other movies in the series. So yeah, that's a quick run through of everything I talked about on the show. I'm sorry that I didn't go in depth. I really wish I could. But I don't want to redo a show that I've already done before. So I feel like this re-recording just helps point out some main key points and events that I've talked about in the show. If you guys want to, ever want to talk to me individually, I have my own Instagram finally for my show. It's called the Plexi Film Show. If you literally just look up Plexi Film Show on Instagram, you're going to find it. The actual username is called just Plexi Film, but once you click on it, it shows the whole thing Plexi Film Show. Because, everyone already knows it's going to be show. Like, everyone knows that it's already a show. So I feel like the word show is just redundant if I put it as a username. So if you just look up Plexi Film on Instagram, you will find me. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode too. I can't wait to have you guys hear the live shows of episodes 4, 5, and 6. Again, I am done for the summer for live shows, but I hope to come back when I can to do live shows. I definitely will keep you guys updated on my website and my Instagram to let you guys know when I will have my next show. I plan to do it this summer, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love you guys so much, and have a great day. Bye.